Craig Proctor. Thank you for being with me here today. As you notice, I have my pink shirt on because I'm going to go see the Barbie movie. Just kidding. Actually, I did do that on the weekend with my daughter. But today we're going to be talking about how to really blow this out, your real estate business, how to scale this thing. So it's not just a job that you have to keep doing forever and ever and ever. And if it depends on you, of course, you're going to be very, very limited by the amount of money that you can make. I'm not saying you can't do well. You can probably make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year by yourself, but you will have no life if you get to that point, if you do it that way. And so what we want to talk about is, what's your exit strategy? Do you just keep working hard forever? Or are you going to figure out how to turn your real estate job into a real estate business where eventually you have other agents that are working with you to do some of the work so you can have more time off, continue to increase and scale your sales, but have a life? I mean, that's why we got into real estate in the first place, right? Is we wanted the money and we wanted the time, because that is freedom. So check in if you haven't checked in already. Let me know what marketplace you serve, and we're going to have a little conversation here about what your options are in real estate. And I've been in all these different places, so I'm going to talk to you about all the different ways that I did it, kind of what I learned, and hopefully you'll have some great takeaways so you can decide what you want to do going forward in real estate. But again, we get a lot of referrals here in Craig Proctor Nation, so let us know in the comments right now. Type in the city that you serve so we can get some referrals going back and forth. I had one the other day in Cleveland, Ohio, and we had nobody to serve. This is a very good client. We had nobody in the area, and so if you want to get referrals, get your name out there. The biggest battle that we're fighting, folks, is obscurity. Let other agents know who you are, okay? And I'm going to show you how to let buyers and sellers know who you are, what makes you different, and what makes you better, so they favor you, so they call you. Let's start with them calling you is a great place to start. If you really want to grow your business, I came to the conclusion many, many years ago that you can't just do business with people you know, okay? If you're doing, there's nothing wrong with doing business with people you know, but it's very limited, right? Whenever I hear a real estate agent say to me, oh, 80% of my business comes from referrals, that just simply tells me that real estate agent doesn't do much business. So I had this epiphany when I first got into real estate that if I wanted to grow a huge business, that I had to learn how to do business with strangers. Well, what do they tell you to do? They tell you to go out and knock on doors and open houses and chase prospects. That's exactly what I did. But that involves you, right? Your manual labor, unless you get a bunch of agents that are going to go prospect for you. And if they're going to go prospect for you, pretty soon they figure out, hey, I could be prospecting for myself, and they leave you. So the way you attract other agents to come and work with you is you create an overflow of business where the buyers and sellers are actually coming to you. Now, why would buyers and sellers call you instead of you chasing them? Well, you have to offer stuff that buyers and sellers really, really want that they can't find on the internet. Now, notice I said on the internet. Here's what we know. The buyers and sellers can find a lot of information on the internet, and they'd rather find the information without a real estate agent than with a real estate agent. We're not that different, right? Like if I'm buying a car, for example, I'm probably going to do a lot of research online before I go to the car dealership. In fact, how many of you would agree you go to the car dealership and sometimes you know more about the vehicle you want to buy than the salesperson does because you've done all this research? So the public kind of feels like, well, if I can get all this information online, which I can find out about all the houses, I can find out what's sold, it lessens the grip, okay, the attraction that we have with buyers. Because it used to be that we could say to a buyer, hey, I'm going to provide you the secret information. You can't get information on the houses without having a real estate agent, and I'm a really good negotiator. And now they say to you, I don't need you to find the houses. I've got the internet. And as far as you being a great negotiator, many buyers think, well, I could negotiate, do a better job without you going around you, now that I know who has the house listed, I'll go directly to the listing agent and I can probably negotiate a better deal without you as an agent. So what I learned to do is I learned to offer things that buyers and sellers really want. It's pretty basic, right? Like if you offer stuff they don't want, they don't call you. Right now, you might be offering things they don't want. You might think they want it, but if people aren't calling you, buyers and sellers aren't calling you on a consistent basis, if you don't have this overflow of business that I'm talking about, don't take this the wrong way, but it just means that your offer is weak. I could go stronger and say your offer sucks, right? So if your offer sucks, they don't call you because they don't want what you have, or what you're offering is what they can find on the internet, or it's what's being offered by every other real estate agent out there. So because in many marketplaces, the marketplace is tight right now, there's not a lot of inventory, a great offer to make is access to unlisted and off-market properties. Now, before you judge this idea and say, well, we're not allowed to do that, that's considered a pocket listing, what listing are we talking about? I'm not talking about you listing a property. What I'm suggesting is if you were able to say to a buyer, hey, buyer, tell us what you're looking for, the neighborhood, the amenities. We'll go into that neighborhood using our specific target marketing, and we're going to find homeowners that have not listed their home for sale. So there is no listing. So it'd be like, are you able to tell your buyer about a for sale by owner, right? The for sale by owner is not listed. It's not considered a pocket listing or anything like that. So you can do this legally without breaking any rules. What we're basically doing is preempting the whole process here. We're not just sending our buyers properties that are on the internet that are available to the public. When you're able to say to the buyer, I can get you access to homes that aren't quite on the market yet. Now, the truth is, we never do list these properties. We just do a commission agreement with the seller, so it's all legal, above board. You're not going to be, accused of a pocket listing. There is no listing. We're not hiding a listing. We're just taking our buyer and we're finding them a home that they want to buy, and the seller hasn't listed their house yet. Okay, so you're basically going to get both ends of the commission. And then, of course, the buyer probably has a house to sell. I know this is an issue a lot of you are having right now is you do have clients that want to move, but if the buyer cannot find another property, they're not going to sell their existing home. Even if you offered them 10% more than what their house is worth, they would say to you, well, what am I going to do? If I sell my house and I can't find another one, I would be homeless. So this is how we're going about it. Okay, this is one of the strategies that we're using is we're offering something that everyone wants, which is proprietary information, access to proprietary information that the buyers can't get on their own, and they can't get this information from other real estate agents. So what happens is they come to you and they want to know how it works. And the other thing I like about this is when they say, oh, can you send me a list or a link or pictures of the unlisted properties? We can smile and say, well, actually, there is no list, there is no link, there's no pictures of these homes. Why? Because they're not listed. We're not saying we have properties listed. We're offering you what we call the Craig Proctor VIP Home Finder service. The VIP Home Finder service will get you access to all the homes that are publicly available, which you don't really need us for because you have the internet. But most importantly, we can get you access to unlisted, off-market, distress sales, bank foreclosures, vacant properties. And as soon as I do this, the buyer that maybe wasn't that interested or saw me as a commodity real estate agent, all of a sudden they're really interested in talking to me. Now, we have other offers that we make that get the phone to ring. For example, I'm pretty famous for my guaranteed sale program, where we promote that if you move up and you buy any one of my listings, I will buy your home. I'll guarantee the sale of your home. Now, again, I know some of you will jump to the conclusion that, oh my God, I'd get stuck with all these houses. Look, I made millions of dollars from this over a 30-year period. I guaranteed hundreds and hundreds of houses, and I only ended up buying 2. In fact, one of the houses I didn't even look at, so I kind of deserve that. I'm not suggesting it's without risk, but if you really follow my guaranteed sale program to the letter, if you understood how it worked and all the rules and inner workings to protect yourself, you are offering move-up buyers something they really want. We call this the real estate catch-22. Anyone that owns a house and they're buying another house is in a bit of a conundrum, right? Do you like that word? Because we call it the real estate catch-22. If they buy their next home before they sell their existing home, they're like, well, what if I don't sell my existing home in time? Now I'm going to be stuck with two homes. I can't afford that. Okay, but they're also terrified that if they sell their existing home first and they go out and try to find a home, that if they don't find another home in time, they could be homeless. Now they got no house. So the Craig Proctor Guaranteed Sale Program is something that solves that problem for move-up buyers. It's like I'm giving them an insurance policy to the move-up buyer that they'll never get stuck owning two homes, because I give them an upfront guarantee in writing so they know exactly worst case what they're going to get. But then I market their home for 120 days. And if I sell their home to an outside buyer at a superior offer, they get the superior offer, not me. So I don't want to buy the house. They don't want me to buy the house. But you can see it's a very important insurance offer that I'm offering buyers that sets me apart from all the other real estate agents. So this is what I started to do over many, many years. Many of you know my story. Within 3 years of getting my license, okay, so within 3 years of getting my license, I go from not even knowing what I'm doing to the number one RE/MAX agent in the entire world. I'm not talking about in Canada or the United States. I'm talking about in the entire world. No RE/MAX agent made more money per year than I did. Now, I did this over and over again for 15 years, and that's how I got into coaching and training, because other agents want to know, how is this young guy, he's only been in, not young anymore, but at the time, how did this young guy with only 3 years of experience, how's he selling hundreds and hundreds of houses and making millions of dollars a year? This is what I discovered. When I started to share my system with other real estate agents, I realized that this had nothing to do with Craig Proctor, the person. That my success was the systematic way that I'd figured this out through my own necessity. And that means that any agent that started to do what I was doing was also starting to have the same success that I had, which is pretty cool. And that's how I got into coaching and training agents, because my coaching involves teaching you a system. Now, you don't get that anywhere else. You know, if you go to Tom Ferry, you go to all these gazillions of coaches out there, it's kind of like the idea of the week, right? It's like, well, today we're going to talk about cold calling or referrals or how to do a better open house. Well, I've got a lead generation system. Okay, so that's the first thing you need, is you need a lead generation system. I'm not talking about buying Zillow leads or buying leads. I'm not talking about cold calling, door knocking, floor time, all the crap they tell. No, I figured out, I had no money. I knew nothing about marketing, so I had to learn from other industries. How do I offer things to buyers and sellers, and I've got no money, so I have to figure out an inexpensive way to do this, to attract high-quality buyers and sellers? Well, I figured that out. And I figured it out to the point where I could not physically go out on all the appointments. I know it sounds crazy, right? But honestly, if you talk to anybody that I worked with during that 25, 30-year period, I physically could not go out on all the listing appointments. Believe me, I tried. For the first couple of years I tried, I was working 12 hours a day. It was very normal for me to list 5 or 6 homes every single day. Okay? I had a 15% market share in my town. 15%, think about that. As an agent, not a company, that means 1 in every 8 sold signs in my marketplace had my name on it. So it was complete and total market domination. The other agents hated it, by the way, because who am I, right? Only have my license for 3 or 4 years at this point. But I can show you how to do this. I can show you how to set up the lead generation system. We have to understand that we're marketers first. Here's what I thought. I thought, if I get into real estate and I work hard and I really care about my clients and I know what I'm doing, that should be enough, right? But it's not. because there's a whole bunch of hundreds, thousands of really good agents watching this right now. Okay, you care about your clients, you work hard, you're a good negotiator. The problem is you've got nobody to sell to, or you don't have enough people to sell to. The other nice thing about having an overflow of business is I could start to pick and choose who I wanted to work with. Let's be honest. How many of us have worked with a jerk, right? Some buyers are better than other buyers. Some sellers are better than other sellers. What I mean by better is they're just easier to get along with. They're more motivated, they're more qualified, they're more ready to act. That's how you get rich in real estate, is you have so many clients coming at you that you've got the luxury of choice. You get to pick and choose. I'll work with you and you and you, but I'm not going to work with these people over here. So that's how I did this for the first couple of years. I got an administrative person, and in a way that was good because I was able to delegate all of my administrative, getting the signs, the pictures, the keys cut. That was good, but it didn't solve the problem because now that I wasn't doing the administrative stuff, I was just out on more listing appointments. Do you see what I'm saying? So I made more money, but it still didn't solve the problem that I was working 12 hours a day. Now, this is before I'm married and before I have kids. And of course, when my wife comes along, she's like, this is not going to fly. So I had to change, right? I had to figure out, okay, if I want to have a family and I want to have a life, which is the whole idea, I've got to figure out how to leverage myself. So number one leverage point is leverage through marketing. Number two is leverage through systems, right? And technology. So I did that. I got a really great CRM, and I used technology the most I could. But remember, there's still only me and my unlicensed assistant. Leveraging through people was the breakthrough, because when I could find other agents and I could show them how to do it exactly the way that I did it, it worked. It didn't work all the time. And by the way, if you're trying to grow your team, you're going to have good days and bad days, right? You're going to have days where you're thinking, team schmeem, this whole thing doesn't work. But what's your option really? And that's really the way I looked at this is I have to figure out how to recruit and hire and train and manage a team. Now, I was never a broker owner. I was just some dude at the RE/MAX office that was selling hundreds and hundreds of houses. But I was able to promise agents something they couldn't get on their own, which is if you partner up with Craig Proctor, I won't give you leads, I will give you listing appointments. They were skeptical, of course, right? So when they began with me, and I went through all kinds of personality testing, and that's a whole different topic on how I vetted them, but when I had a good agent, I would go out on listing appointments and they would shadow me, and we'd do that for a couple weeks, and then we'd flip it around where they would do all the talking and I would sit in the corner and I'd listen to them. And that's when I discovered that there was nothing unique about me, that I could teach any one of you watching this how to do it. What the ad should say, what you should say on the phone, what you should say in the presentation. Because what I found myself doing, and remember I had lots of practice because I'm going out on 6, 7, 8 listing appointments every day. So if I messed the first one up, I got another one in an hour, right? And another one. So what I realized was with the listing presentation, there was a best way. I figured out what should I say first, what should I say next, what should I say next, and literally that's all I did. I went from house to house to house, repeating the exact same thing in the exact same order to get the exact same result. It was a system. And I did the same thing for buyers as well. So all I had to do was hand this system off to the agents that partnered up with me, and guess what? They started to get great results. The first lady I hired, her name was Lindy, with an E on the end, and Lindy made me about $6 million. Yeah, she made me $6 million. She made $6 million for her and $6 million for me over the 20 years that she worked with me, right? She made about $600,000 a year. We are in a 50-50 split. So Lindy, net of expenses, made about $300,000 a year, which means I made $300,000 a year, and she was with me for 20 years. So that one agent made me $6 million. Made her $6 million as well. That's why the people on my team never left. I could keep them for 15 or 20 years because they all knew they could make more money as part of the Craig Proctor team than leaving me and working on their own. How many of you are interested in this? Smash the like button if this is making sense. Right? Or maybe give me a little heart there. Make sure that you follow this page, that you like this page, and you follow this page, because I go live here a couple times a week and I share with you my experience, how I did it. What is it that you can learn from this? Obviously, there's a best way. Now, you can figure this out on your own. It might take a long, long time. It might cost you a lot of money in trial or error. Or you can realize that I figured this out, and not only for myself, but I've created more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach or trainer or guru out there. I might not have more coaching members or whatever, but I've created more millionaires. So maybe you don't want to make $1 million a year. Maybe you're like, you know what, I'd like Craig to show me how to go from 20 transactions to 50 or from 50 to 100. But once you get into this, I think you'll realize it's not that difficult to make $1 million a year or more. What you might be thinking right now is, if I was to make $1 million a year, like I'm already working super hard, that would mean divorce, or I would never see my kids. And you know what? Doing it the way you're doing it right now, that might be true. That's why we have to do it a different way. Do you realize that my superstar members, and by the way, I have Craig Proctor coaching members that make over $1 million a month. Yeah, like 12 million a year in GCI. And I know you're going to say, well, they have a team. Of course they have a team. Nobody makes 12 million in GCI without a team. But would you be okay if you kept half of 12 million and were able to work less? Because I promise you this, most of you watching this right now, you're working harder, putting in longer hours, slogging it out, than these top producing $1 million a month agents. Okay, they have a business. It works so they don't have to. You have a job. That's why you can't go away on vacation, right? When you go away, it stops. What's your exit strategy going to be? Why do you think we have so many 80-year-old realtors running around? Because they've never made enough money to jack up their savings account so they can actually retire. Think about how many more years you want to do this. How much money do you have in the bank? How much money would you need to retire? If you do that math, it should cause a little bit of anxiety. You need to get your act together, get coached up, get a system that's actually going to make you money so you have a real career, a real business. You've got the three things. You got more money, you got more time, but the biggie, you got the freedom. That's what everybody wants. That's why they come to Craig Proctor. Now, if you'd like to have a consultation with me and my team, I want someone to type in, proctorconsult.com. Proctor Consult, short for consultation, proctorconsult.com. That's going to go to my Acuity Day Timer. And for $0, you can book a call. We'll ask you a bunch of questions about what you want to do in real estate and how you're going about it right now. Like whatever you're doing right now, let's face it, you didn't invent it. You copied it from someone else. You got into the business. You looked it around at what everyone was doing. Your broker told you to do this. Another agent in the office told you to do this. Maybe you've been involved in other coaching and they told you to do a whole bunch of things. Whatever you're doing is responsible for getting you the results that you're getting now. Right? So realtors come to me all the time. They say, I want to do better. Well, that means we can't keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is responsible for the results that you're getting. Also, let me throw this out there. How you think about what you're doing is vitally important. Because the way you think, your paradigm, okay, your paradigm controls your thoughts control what you do, and what you do controls the results. If you were working with me, first thing that I would do is I would pop your head off your shoulders, clean out all that old stuff, and then I'd pop your head back on your shoulders, because now you're ready to accept a better way of doing things, right? We're creatures of habit. You get up in the morning and you do certain things. And some of the things that you do, you know, don't even work very well, but you keep doing it. Some of the things you do, you don't even like doing it. What the heck are we doing here? So you do things you don't like. You do things you know, you admit to yourself aren't working, but you keep doing it anyway. Those are old paradigms. Meanwhile, I have agents that are making millions of dollars a year that will happily lay out exactly how they do it. Oh, here's how we generate an overflow of leads. Well, I don't have any money. Well, they didn't have any money in the beginning. Well, they've got a big team. They didn't have a big team in the beginning. It was just them. Well, maybe they're really good with technology. No, a lot of them aren't. You see, we have a tendency to kind of let ourselves off the hook on why other people can be successful and we can't. Here's a big one. Oh, my marketplace is different. We all think our marketplace is different, or someone's smarter than us, or they've got some advantage. Not true. That's the old paradigm. You've got to kick those thoughts aside and understand that maybe what you know is the problem. Maybe what you know is the problem, and you've been focusing for all these years trying to get a little better at what you know. You know, how do I make a few more cold calls or do a little bit of referrals or write a slightly better ad? So your focus is on incremental gains. It's like, I'm going to take all the crap I'm doing now, some of it I don't like, I know it doesn't work that well, but I'm going to be fixated on that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the door, there are agents that are kicking your butt and you're working way harder than them. Why would you not want to learn from them? So I'm going to give you guys an invitation to my private Facebook group. We're on my business page now, but I have a private group for those of you that are interested in becoming top realtors. And if you would like an invitation to my private Facebook group, type into comments right now, private group. That's it, private group. And someone from my team will be in touch with you. We'll get you an invitation and you'll get behind the curtain. You'll get to come in the room. You'll get to talk to agents that are doing very, very well with the Craig Proctor system. Now, of course, that serves me because the more successful Craig Proctor members you speak to, the bigger believer you're going to be. If you understood this and you believe this, you would be my client. You would. So that's what I try to do here is show you what this is all about and then give you social proof, ample proof that I'm just not another one of these real estate coaches, which, let's be honest, half of them never even sold real estate, didn't even have a license, they've never sold a house, or if they were in real estate, there were failures at real estate. When's the last time you were coached by someone that sold 10,000 homes, that was the number one RE/MAX agent in the world for years and years, that's coached over 30,000 agents, that's created more millionaire agents than any other coach, trainer, or guru? They didn't come to me making millions of dollars. I love that. Other coaches, this person makes millions of dollars a year. Yeah, but they were making millions of dollars a year before they became associated with you. I'm talking about rags to riches stories. So I hope you find me approachable. I hope you know how sincere I am about wanting to help you get to the next level. You should book a call. The call costs $0. Okay? Is it going to be a big sales call? Not at all. We're simply going to tell you what we've got for you. We'll ask you questions about what you're doing, and we'll say, you know what? Here's what we've got. Here's what we would help you do. Do you like it? Do you like this plan? Does our plan, our proven plan, make more sense than what you're doing? Why wouldn't you want to explore that? Right? Why would you want to shut the door on opportunity? Why would you want to prejudge this before you go in and you check it out? You've got an opportunity for $0 to ask all your questions, have it explained to you, and we'll refer you to whoever you want to talk to, as many Craig Proctor superstars as you'd like to talk to. So you've got social proof that, hey, this works for all these people. It'll work for me as well. So private Facebook group, you're going to type in private group. Make sure that you like the page. If you haven't checked in, make sure you do that right now because we do get a ton of referrals. Let us know the city, the state, where you operate in. Honestly, I've got a referral here for Cleveland, for North Cleveland, and we had no one to give this referral to. Okay, and of course, we want to make sure that we're referring our clients to good agents, people that get it. The last thing you want to do is refer a client to an idiot, right? So we want you to be involved with this. It would be great if I started sending you referrals right away. That would mean we're already sending you money and you haven't sent us anything, right? This is about you learning what you don't know. That's why you're here. You're still watching this. You're intrigued by this. You might be a little bit skeptical. Who is this Craig Proctor guy? Is this real? Was he really the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world within 36 months of having his license? Has he really taught 30,000 agents how to do this? Has he really created more millionaire agents than anyone else? Yes. My track record is very public, okay? You are in the right place. You're watching this for a reason. So make sure you like this page. You can share this with other agents that you think would benefit from what we talked about today. Let me ask you this question. Let me know in the chat, did you find this incredibly helpful today? Let me know in the comments below whether you found today's session incredibly helpful. Okay, this is my story. This is the truth. This is how I did it, and this is how I can help you as well. But the first step is you going to proctorconsult.com, proctorconsult, no space.com, and you book yourself a session where we're going to talk about your business. We're going to ask you to fill in a few questions so we know a little bit about you so we can do a good job. Not a big sales pitch in any way, but at the end of this, you may want my help. And if not, well, whatever you learned during the call, you get to keep that information forever. I want to thank you all for watching this, but do let me know, did you enjoy this? I love your feedback. Make sure you like the page. Make sure you join the private group. Just type in private group in the comments below, and we'll wrap it up for today. So this is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor, and thank you so much for watching this. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.